Hello and welcome to Idea TV Midday News. I am Chinatu Oji. Let's begin with the headlines. ADELEKE called for U.S.-Nigeria dialogue over Trump's security threat. SAMIA SULUHU sworn in for second term after violent Tanzanian election. AFRIEX partners visa to expand real-time cross-border payments to 160 markets. Angola and Shell to negotiate key offshore oil blocks. Kenya announces $163 million development plan for Western region, away from Africa. Israel confirms Hamas returned bodies of 3 soldiers held hostage, and in health, NDLEA uncovers illegal drug laboratory in Lagos. And in business, KANO approved 8.2 billion naira for education, water and energy projects and sports. ENEKWECHI to lead Team Nigeria to Saudi Islamic Games. Now the news in full. Osun State Governor ADELEKE has appealed for calm and diplomatic engagement between Nigeria and the United States following President Donald Trump's recent threats of security and diplomatic actions against Nigeria. In a statement issued in Osogbo and shared on his official Osun State government website, ADELEKE urged both nations to sustain their long-standing partnership, stressing the need for renewed diplomatic dialogue in addressing the country's worsening insecurity. The governor expressed sympathy for victims of terrorist attacks in northern Nigeria, describing the situation as a wake-up call for stronger counter-terrorism strategies. He called on the U.S. to support Nigeria in implementing its new national security strategy, which he said is capable of addressing the scourge of banditry and terrorism. ADELEKE insisted that only peaceful and constructive engagement, not confrontation, could resolve the current diplomatic tension, adding that Nigeria needed its international allies to expand their support for our security agencies and political leadership. ADELEKE's comment followed Trump's decision to designate Nigeria as a country of particular concern over alleged persecution of Christians, a move rejected by President Bola Tinubu, who maintained that religious tolerance remains a cornerstone of Nigeria's identity. ADELEKE commended the federal government's effort to de-escalate the situation, urging Nigerians to unite behind national leadership in safeguarding the country's democracy and internal security. Moving on, Tanzania's President SULUHU has been sworn in for a second term following an election marred by widespread violence and allegations of fraud. The ceremony took place in the capital, Dodoma, at a military parade ground close to the public, but broadcast live on state television. President SAMIA was declared winner with 98% of the votes after most opposition candidates were either jailed or disqualified from the race. International observers and human rights groups have expressed concern over the lack of transparency and the violent aftermath of the polls, with hundreds reportedly killed or injured during clashes between protesters and security forces. Opposition groups, including the Chadema party, claim that at least 800 people were killed, while diplomatic sources confirm at least 500. The government, however, has sought to downplay the scale of the violence, maintaining that the election was peaceful and credible. In her victory speech, President SAMIA described the election as free and democratic and labeled the protesters unpatriotic. Critics, however, see her landslide win as a coronation, not a contest, pointing to an increasingly repressive political environment under her leadership. The election has further deepened tensions in Tanzania as the nation grapples with its image as one of East Africa's most stable democracies. Moving ahead, fintech firm AFRIEX has announced a major partnership with Visa to deliver real-time cross-border payment to more than 160 global markets, enhancing the speed and accessibility of international money transfers. The collaboration integrates Visa Direct through AFRIEX financial institution partner, allowing users to send and receive funds instantly across borders via the AFRIEX mobile app. AFRIEX CEO Tokpalabi said the partnership combines AFRIEX innovation with Visa's vast network to make remittances move in real time. The integration connects directly to billions of eligible Visa accounts, providing individuals and businesses with faster, more transparent, and reliable transfers. According to the World Bank, remittances to low and middle income countries reached $669 billion in 2023, underscoring the importance of affordable and efficient payment systems. The new collaboration supports AFRIEX mission to make global transactions more seamless for families, entrepreneurs, and communities across Africa and beyond. And in Angola, oil giant Shell is set to enter exclusive talks for the exploration and development of offshore oil blocks 19, 34, and 35. The agreement is to be signed today, which is a step toward attracting investment and reviving Angola's oil output, which currently stands at about 1.3 million barrels per day, down from over 1.4 million a decade ago. According to Angola's National Agency for Oil, Gas and Biofuels, ANPG, the deal grants Shell exclusive negotiation rights before a potential production sharing contract is finalized. The move is part of Angola's strategy to bring in global energy investors with advanced deep-water drilling technology, strengthening the country's position as sub-Saharan Africa's second-largest crude producer. The agreement follows similar partnerships with Chevron and ExxonMobil in recent months, signaling renewed confidence in Angola's offshore sector. With declining output and aging fields, Luanda hopes such collaborations will inject new capital and innovation into its energy industry, boosting economic growth and maintaining competitiveness in the regional oil markets. Meanwhile, Kenyan President William Ruto has unveiled a $163 million, that is 21 billion Kenyan shillings investment plan to boost development in the country's western region, particularly Kakamega County. The funds will support projects in affordable housing, modern markets, student accommodations, and critical infrastructure as part of efforts to promote inclusive growth and equitable development across Kenya. According to the president, 14 billion shillings will go toward affordable housing, 2.5 billion for modern markets, and 2 billion for female student housing. In addition, a 1.5 billion shilling gold refinery will be established to help local communities benefit directly from the region's mineral resources. Other funds will be directed toward improving roads, electricity, health facilities, air transport, and sports infrastructure. The initiative aligns with Kenya's Vision 2030 and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, both aimed at accelerating industrialization and improving living standards. Despite steady growth projected at 4.5% this year, the World Bank warns that Kenya continues to face challenges such as poverty, inequality, and climate risks. Let's go on a quick break now. The news continues on the other side.
Number 6. Digital twins for cities and industries. Digital twins, real-time virtual replicas of physical systems, are expanding fast. Singapore has already built a national digital twin to simulate urban planning, monitor traffic, and manage energy use. In manufacturing, companies like Siemens and GE use digital twins to model factories and machines, cutting downtime and improving efficiency. During the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, organizers tested digital twin technology to manage crowd flow and logistics. Analysts at Deloitte predict that by 2026, nearly 70% of large industrial companies will use digital twins in some form, making them a core part of operations.
Good to know you're still there. If you're just joining us, this is still Idea TV Media News. Now on the other stories. Away from Africa, Israel has confirmed that Hamas has returned the bodies of 3 Israeli soldiers, Colonel Asaf Hamani, Captain Omer Natura, and Staff Sergeant Oz Daniel, through the Red Cross in Gaza. The soldiers were killed during the October 7, 2023 Hamas-led attack on Israel and had been held as hostages since then. Forensic tests conducted at Israel's National Care for Forensic Medicine verified the identities this morning. Under the U.S. brokered ceasefire deal, Hamas had agreed to return 20 living and 28 dead hostages, but Israel accuses the group of deliberately delaying the recovery process. Hamas, however, claims that locating the bodies has been difficult due to destruction and rubble from ongoing airstrikes. The Israeli government has vowed to continue efforts to recover the remaining 8 hostages still held in Gaza. Colonel Hamani, commander of the IDF Southern Brigade, was among the first responders to the October 7th attack. Captain Nutra, a dual Israeli-American, served in the 7th Brigade, while Staff Sergeant Daniel was part of the 7th Armored Brigade. The hostages and missing families forum in Israel expressed profound grief over their deaths, urging renewed efforts to bring all captives home. Moving on, The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has uncovered an illicit drug laboratory operating in the Ajao estate of Lagos State. The discovery follows months of intelligence gathering after a batch of synthetic cannabis, known locally as kolos, was intercepted. The agency says the lab was used to produce large quantities of the drug, with several chemical substances and freshly processed kolos weighing over 16 kilograms recovered from the scene. In a statement, NDLEA spokesperson Femi Babafemi confirmed that a 20-year-old music artist, Godspell George, popularly known as Steady Boy, was also arrested in connection with a separate drug trafficking case. He was reportedly caught attempting to receive a consignment of 77 kilograms of loud smuggled from the United States through the Mursala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. His manager, identified as Zion Omige, remains on the run. The NDLEA further revealed a series of coordinated operations across the country, including raids in Kaduna, Ogun, Ondo, and Ondo State, where multiple suspects were arrested and large quantities of cannabis tramadol methamphetamine was seized. NDLEA Chairman Mohammed Buba Marwa commended officers for their efforts, reaffirming the agency's commitment to dismantling drug syndicates and curbing substances abuse nationwide. In business, the KANO State Executive Council has approved over 8.2 billion naira for a series of projects aimed at boosting education, water supply and energy efficiency across the state. The approvals were announced by the governor's spokesperson Sanusi Bature after the council's 33rd meeting presided over by Governor Abba Kabir Yusuf. According to him, more than 4.9 billion will go into the education sector to improve infrastructure, expand access to quality learning, and upgrade facilities in key institutions. The education projects include the renovation of Government Technical College, Ungogo, the settlement of boarding school feeding debt, and the completion of the e-library at the KANO State College of Education and Preliminary Studies. Funds were also approved for accreditation exercises at KANO State Polytechnic and the procurement of furniture for Northwest University to enhance both academic and administrative operations. The governor reiterated his commitment to making education the cornerstone of KANO's development agenda. In the related development, the council approved 3.3 billion naira for water and energy-related projects, including the construction of a modern water treatment plant at Saliwaiwai in Rano local government area, and the payment of outstanding electricity and fuel bills owed to sustain operations at the State Water Board. The state government said the interventions are designed to ensure steady water supply, improve energy efficiency, and promote better living standards for residents. And finally, in sport, African champion and Commonwealth Games medalist Chukwuebuka ENEKWECHI will lead Nigeria's 25 athletes contingent to the 2025 Islamic Solidarity Games in Saudi Arabia. The games will run from November 7 to 21st at the Prince Faisal bin Fahd Sports City Stadium. Will feature top athletes from across the Muslim world competing in various sporting events. The competition marks the 6th edition of the Games organized by the Islamic Solidarity Sports Association and returns to its normal 4-year cycle after pandemic disruptions. ENEKWECHI, the African record holder in men's shot put, will spearhead Nigeria's medal hunt alongside Chioma Onyekwere-Leons, a 2-time African champion and Commonwealth gold medalist in the women's discus throw. The team also features notable sprinters such as Enoch Adegoke, Chidera Ezako, and Patience Okon George, as well as field event stars Divine Oladipo and Oyeshade Olatoye, bringing a blend of youth and experience to Nigeria's campaign. Director General of the National Sports Commission, Bukola Olokbade, said Nigeria's participation aligned with the country's broader Olympic preparation plan ahead of the 2028 Games in Los Angeles. He expressed confidence that the team will perform well, describing the event as a great opportunity for Nigeria to showcase its talent to the global stage. And that's the much you can take on Idea TV Midday News. But before we go, a quick recap of the headlines. We brought you news that ADELEKE has called for U.S.-Nigeria dialogue over Trump's security threat. You also heard that SAMIA SULUHU sworn in for second term after violent Tanzanian election. AFRIEX partners visa to expand real-time cross-border payments. Angola shell to negotiate key offshore oil blocks. Kenya announces $163 million development plan for Western region away from Africa. Israel confirms Hamas return bodies of 3 soldiers held hostage. And in health, NDLEA uncovers illegal drug laboratory in Lagos. In business, KANO approves 8.2 billion naira for education, water and energy projects, and sports ENEKWECHI to lead Team Nigeria to Saudi Islamic Games. Do not forget to follow us across the different social media platforms at Idea TV. I am Chinatu Oji. Thank you for your time.